Hey everybody, it's Bree here, and I am coming out with my first meeting with my dietitian, my exercise specialist. I actually met a nurse practitioner, which I wasn't expecting, and my Psych Eval. I had all of that today over the course of the morning. I arrived at my appointment was at 8:10. I got there almost exactly 8:10 because traffic was terrible. Um and I actually left, like, it took us 40 minutes to get there because traffic was so bad. I'm trying to like touch my chin meats here. Um Sorry. So we got there and we met the exercise specialist first. He was very nice. I had a first thing was my resting metabolic rate measured with a real machine, with using real science. And for that, I couldn't eat for 8 hours before. I couldn't exercise for 24 hours before. I couldn't have my coffee this morning, which really sucked. So like no caffeine, no exercise 24 hours before. I couldn't eat 8 hours before. I could only drink room temperature water the day of and try to limit that. But I mean, I needed it for my pills, all thousands of them that I feel like I take. But I know it's probably less than the amount of vitamins I'm going to take. Anyway, so for the resting metabolic rate, basically all they do is you put this funny contraption on your face and then you sound like Darth Vader and you just breathe. And they like strap it to your head and you lay down and just chill for about 15 minutes and you just breathe and you can talk through it, but they just want you to basically relax because it's like this is what Foodie Turned Sleevey, she talked about in one of her recent videos, was the amount of calories that you burn just by existing. So you want your body to be like burning your fats and all that stuff. So oh god, my hair. I just got out of the shower, so my hair is like just great. So they said I basically was a fat burning machine. I think that's because of the keto that I've been doing for the last month, but who knows. So they gave me this fancy little... Which way do I go, George? They gave me this fancy little thing. Oh, here's the actual information. So like mine was 2365. That's how many calories I burned just to live, and they predicted it to be lower than that at 1946 based on my height, weight, BMI, blah blah blah, all that stuff. And then there's a section that shows your fat to carb ratio, and mine right here is 79.8 and 20.7. So I'm burning 80% fat and 20% carbs from my diet because, again, I eat a high-fat, low-carb diet. So that's the intended purpose. They were really impressed with that. The nurse practitioner said she likes it at 90-10. But I ate a little bit higher carb dinner last night, and so they said that could have affected it a little bit, but it's still really good. So that was fun. They also, while I was doing the breathing, they stuck a little thing on my finger that somehow measures my vascular system and my capillaries and stuff to see like how much oxygen, I guess, is getting to places, and they said that was good. They didn't give me a copy of that one. So after that, he basically was just like, okay, I'm going to, you got to start doing these stretches every day. And I want you to exercise for 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, and moderate to somewhat hard. And he gave me this little paper that says what that means. So let's see here. Oh, which way do I go? Moderate means conversation requires some effort or somewhat hard means conversation requires effort, but still able to carry on a conversation without being winded. Yeah. That means basically low intensity and longer, basically long and low intensity. Like he said, don't be huffing and puffing, because that's the mistake that a lot of people make, is that they think the harder you work out, the better it's going to be. But he explained that what happens when you do that is that your body shifts from fat burning to carb burning, and it burns up all the carbs that you've eaten in your diet, and on it, because it requires like more energy faster when you do that. So when you go slower, sorry if you can hear that, we're apparently having a thunderstorm right now, so if you hear any cracking, that's probably what it is, and the rain on the window. But basically he was like, just keep walking, try to make it to 30 minutes every day, 5 days a week, make it moderate where you can still basically have a conversation without being too winded. And excuse me. And then he gave me these wonderful set of stretches. I have to do these 7 days a week, 1 set per day, holding each stretch for 20 to 30 seconds. And I think a lot of this, it's not really a requirement for the surgery, but we all know this is a lifestyle change. So if they get it into you now that these are things that you need to do, then hopefully it'll stick afterwards, which, who knows. These are a lot of stretches. We tried it out, my boyfriend and I. He was generous enough to do it with me. It took us almost 30 minutes to get through all of these stretches, holding them for 20 seconds each, like the minimum amount we could do. There's just like upper back, lower back, abdominal, obliques, quads, calves, neck, forceps, thighs, hamstrings, all that fun stuff. So I have to start doing that every day. Keep doing that. So that didn't take very long. The longest part was the resting metabolic rate, or RMR, they'll call it. And that was easy. Colby, they took a picture of me. They took like a full body picture of me from the front and the side, so it's like a before type thing. So that, I don't know, I wasn't expecting that, so it was weird, but whatever. I hate having my picture taken like full body. Like, I'm all about the close-up, y'all, because look at this face, So then, like, he sent me back out to the lobby, and then I had my second appointment with my dietitian. She was super nice and basically was like, you're doing everything great. I told her I'm on a keto diet, which is high fat, low carb. And we went through all the things I eat, and because I use the Berrytastic food tracking app that's linked directly to this program, she can go in on her computer and see all of my food logs for herself and see what I've been eating. So that's really cool. I really liked it. But she basically gave me a customized diet plan, and like a sample of what I should eat in a day based on, things I like. So no yogurt. Ugh, I might have to get used to it for after surgery, but I don't know. I'm just not a yogurt fan. Basically, she said, you're doing everything right, except you're eating a lot of fat. And I'm like, that's because it's a high fat diet, and that's what makes me full, and that's what gets my body to burn the fats. But she's like, I really want you to lower the fat just a little bit. And I'm like, okay, I'll try. Replace some bacon with some turkey bacon. Use half and half instead of heavy cream in my coffee. We'll see. Who knows? But she really didn't ask me to change that much. She basically just said, I need to start a multivitamin, which is fine. I probably should take one anyway, and a probiotic, which I actually just started taking last week because of all my digestive issues that you guys probably know too much about. She said, I need to drink my fluids, 96 fluid ounces of, minimum of 96 ounces of non-caloric fluids daily. So decaf, coffee, water, any Gatorade Zero, Propel Zero, vitamin water, Powerade Zero, any of that counts, which I just like drinking water anyway, so it's whatever. She didn't cut me off my coffee yet, thank goodness. I hope she doesn't try to do that because we're going to have a fight. But I'm limited to only 24 ounces a day of caffeinated beverages, which the only thing I drink is coffee. And she was like, use the half and half or the sugar-free creamers. And I'm like, but cream is so good. She said, no carbonated beverages, which I gave up as soon as I decided to have the surgery because I knew that was going to be a thing. No juice, sweet teas, milks, sodas, or any other caloric beverages. And I should decrease my alcohol use from like once or twice a year to never. She didn't really say that. I'm just making my own commentary here. And then she said I could go to my pre-op diet class finally at any point because I'm probably going to be having my surgery in May, and you just have to have it done within 2 months before the surgery. So that was fine. And then she wrote down some things. She gave me this handy little thing with a sample breakfast with this is what time you eat and this is the things you should eat and blah, blah, blah. I know what I should be eating by now. I mean, I've been diabetic for 2 years and, Oh, I just realized that my microphone's turned the wrong way. Hold on. Sorry. I am sorry, okay? And then, gave me a list of, lean things to eat, lean proteins, non-starchy vegetables, other useful information like don't eat this shit. And you can have 2 portion sizes of healthy fat a day. And I'm like, not on keto, I can't. So that was all well and good. Then I met with a nurse practitioner and she was great. And the reason I say she was great is because she's one of the first people who was ever just why? Just fancying it up and trying to make me feel better, or I don't know. I don't know what it was. She had a great personality. I don't know. I just liked the way she approached me. So she came in the room and she pulled up my chart and she immediately just pulled up my list of medications. And the first thing she does is, I was behind her because of the way the room was set up. She turns around and looks at me and goes, why are you taking aspirin? And I'm just like, because it's for my heart. And she's like, what's wrong with your heart? And I was like, I have high blood pressure. And she was like, she just kind of looked at me because my blood pressure was not high when I checked in that morning, because they always check your weight and your blood pressure when you check in. And it was 135/80. It was very, very low for me, but that's probably because I'm on blood pressure medication. And she was just like, and why do you take this? And I'm just going through it because of she's like, why are you on cholesterol medicine? I'm like, because they say I have high cholesterol, even though they don't know how to accurately test it, apparently. And she was just like, I don't really think you need to be on all these. And I'm like, oh, really? Tell me more. Please, tell me more. And she was like, yeah, it's kind of because you're a female, cholesterol medicine probably doesn't even work for you. It's not even going to do anything. It's probably not doing anything for you. And I'm like, well, it's giving me these eye spasms, that I have all the time. And I just forced myself into one. Ooh. Oh, now it's good. Now it's happening. And she's like, I'm fairly certain that after your surgery, you are probably going to be off every single one of these medications. I would take you off of the cholesterol now, but we don't really like to do that. Just, stop cold or whatever. And I was like, really? Really? this affected me so much because this is like one of my things is that I teared up. Like I got emotional when she was like, you're probably going to be off all these medications. And I was like, OMG. Oh, my screen started to go to sleep. I've been talking so long already. Oh my God, how long has it been? I can't even tell. Anyway, so that was fine. She was like, everything looks good. I think you're a good candidate. You're going to do well with the sleeve. Because, you know, I don't, whatever's. Oh, this hair. And, sorry, that makes my camera go out, in and out. So then she sent me back out into the lobby again. And then I had my meeting with the psychiatrist. He was, excuse me, he specializes in bariatric patients and the psychology behind it, and he works for that program. He's came off as really passionate about wanting to help bariatric patients, and how much he's seen people's lives just totally transform, just from a simple surgery, you know. So, my eyes are watering. So anyway, it lasted, I had it scheduled for like an hour. They said it might take 2 hours, but I think, I'm not really sure how they schedule it, but I had filled out all those questionnaires that I showed in one of my original videos, one of my first videos about all the psychological questioning, like, you know, looking for eating disorders and craziness, I guess. And he didn't really ask me a lot of real personal questions. He asked about my support system. He did ask like if I had suffered any abuse or anything like that. And, he asked me if I understood how the surgery works and how I think it's going to work for me. And he did most of the talking, really. Like, oh, there's thunder. Ooh, can you hear it? So it was interesting. Like, it was very non-threatening. He was like, I don't really like to like delve into your deep, dark history because, like, you know, this is our first time meeting and this is really just to make sure you don't have any kind of disorder, dysfunction that would keep you from being able to have the surgery. And he was like, no, you're great. You seem normal. All of my questionnaires that I filled out were, he said, in the normal range of everything. Everything seemed normal. I didn't seem to have any dysfunction, which I'm like, really? Because, are you sure? And he was like, I don't see any reason why I should stand in your way of getting this surgery. I think it's really going to help you, and I think you're going to do great. And I'm like, cool. He's like, big thumbs up from me. And I'm like, cool, let's go. So that was that. It wasn't too bad. It didn't last an hour. And then I had to get some blood drawn for some more tests. They did like some thyroid tests and I don't even know what else. Like, I didn't even see the list, but they wanted to do an H. pylori test on me to test for the pylori gut bacteria, which can cause you problems, I guess. And basically it was like, the lab that they use only does it a certain way, like by your breath, or by your stool, which I'm like, but they were like, well, you can do it by your blood, but you have to pay cash up front, like $26.50 right now, and we'll draw the blood. And I'm like, I don't want to pay more, which turned out to be a good thing that I didn't pay more, because when I went to check out, my bill, little dollar signs here, rang up to $240. Yes, $240. Thanks, insurance, for not caring. So basically, oh, sorry, getting a Kleenex. I always have Kleenex nearby. Refocus. basically what had happened was I had planned for about $135 because the resting metabolic test was $60. Fine, whatever. The dietitian visit was, the first one was $40. And then the copay for my insurance actually is going to pay for the Psych Eval, but I just have to pay a copay of $35. So I was planning and saved my money for $135. So I checked out, and things I didn't realize was I was going to see the nurse practitioner, so I didn't factor that in. So another thing that happened was my first consult, they were supposed to charge me a copay and they didn't. And I even asked them on that first visit before I left, do I have to pay you something? Do I owe you money? And they said, no, you don't. Have a nice day. And I said, cool, bye. And I really thought I was going to have to pay, and then I didn't. Well, guess what? I paid today. They're like, oh yeah, I guess we forgot to charge you your copay on your first visit. So that's another $60. And it's another $35 for the nurse. So that's an additional $95. And I was like, okay. So yeah, that sucked. Self-pay sucks. I hope all of you wonderful people who have insurance covering this, just be very grateful. I really hope that you are. I'm sure you are. But it's like self-pay is awful. This is going to be like so much more than the 10 grand for the surgery, but it'll be worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. So that's pretty much it. I have to schedule. Oh, yeah, one other thing, let me tell you. They don't let you weigh without your clothes on like I do here at home. So I've only lost 3 pounds for them. Yeah, I came in at a whopping 266. Stat time. I started at 269.6. Today, when I weighed in, I was at 266. And they were very happy that I had lost 3 pounds. But before I left this morning, I weighed in on my own scale, right when I woke up. Still in my t-shirt and undies that I sleep in, and I was at 263. So whatever. I know for sure that calories are what's killing me, so I'm going to try to stay as high fat as I can. I am going to try to replace a couple of things like she suggested and just try to keep my calories down. Below, I'm going to try to keep them in like the 16 to 1800 range if I can. I'm not going to stress about it too much. I'm going to try not to. But hopefully that'll help me get the weight off and I can eventually get this surgery scheduled. So that sucked. So yeah, basically that's it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I will answer you. I will talk to you. I will be your friend. Thank you so much for all my subscribers. I love you all, and I'm following most of you who have videos yourself, so I'm a fan. And you can follow me on Instagram too. I post selfies and weird pictures of myself and food. And recently someone asked me for a recipe and I was like, ooh, like I can do that. Here you go. So follow me on Instagram. It's the same here as free_the_Brie. And I hope you are all having a great week, and I'm super excited. I probably won't have another video for a little while. I'm going to DC to visit my bestie the day after tomorrow, and I'll be posting lots of stuff on Instagram from there, and I might make a little video maybe. I don't know, probably not. I'm just going to try to enjoy it while I can. So anyway, have a wonderful week, everyone. Bye!